Hello, hello. Welcome back. Ghetto Girls Love God. I am your hostess with the mostest, your favorite face, Brianna. If you're watching, you might as well just click the link, subscribe, share it while you're at it, comment while you're there, like it since you're here. And yeah, I appreciate all the love. I pray that wherever you're watching this from, car, home. One of my friends called me and was like, girl, I was walking to the store and I cut your podcast on and I was listening to it on my walk. And I was like, whatever works. But wherever you're listening to this from, whatever day of the week it is, I pray that it is blissful, it is peaceful, it is joyous for you today and moving forward. But I wanted to kind of get into the habit of tapping into the characters of the Bible. So I was chatting with Jade and we were trying to figure out how we was going to roll this out. And I read the Bible, and what makes it interesting to me is when I break the stories down to my understanding, or trying to get it to I read the New International Version, first of all, because it's more like modern tone and vocabulary. It's very easy for me to understand. And reading those stories, there's always subtitles in the Bible. So I highlight those subtitles and I pick apart certain parts of the Bible that help me understand what it is that I'm reading. In the New International Version, you can click on the word and press define. It'll tell you what it means. It'll tell you what it is, where it is. I love it. But I wanted to tap more into characters of the Bible and how not moving like them and being like them, but how their stories and what they went through and the decisions that they made, how that can also be parallel to how we are living now and how, we're navigating through life now. So the first story that I thought of, there's so many women. There's 170 women mentioned in the Bible. I remember I told y'all that. And the one story that I felt like I've always heard people I've always heard people discuss the story of Ruth, but I never knew it. I never really knew what it was that she was known for. And I decided to tap in. I love the story. I love how it coincides with what it was that I was talking about last week, which was setting boundaries, standing on those boundaries. Sometimes when you don't do it the right way, God will put you in a position to where you have to double back, revisit those conversations to be more stern in what it is that you want to accept or, not accept in your presence, or what people can and cannot do to have access to you. So being that we was talking about setting those boundaries and starting to accept the fact that you're going to lose relationships in the process, I thought of last week's topic when I was reading the story of Ruth. Just to give you a quick overview, I'm going to actually take this time to kind of read the notes that I got from it and break down how I feel that it can align and also help y'all not only understand the Bible, but understand how life been life for everybody for quite some time now. This isn't brand new. And there was some people that they did have to go against certain things that they love to find God or to receive his blessing. But it's fate. At the end of the day, I want us to understand that the journey that we're on is only hard when you don't believe in what it is that you're striving to believe in. Your walk with God is I want to totally believe that God got me and God is going to take care of me and God has my back and all of these things. But in order to achieve those things, you have to have faith. And it's very hard to explain because people feel well, I do believe God and I have faith, but if you idolize, my money can take care of it, this person can take care of it, that person can take care of it, you're not really putting God first. And you're not really making those sacrifices to make God your main priority. Whereas the stories in the Bible, I realized, Ruth, there were a lot of things that they sacrificed to be closer to God. And it works out. It works in their favor. And I'm a firm believer. I hear a lot of people say anybody could have wrote the Bible, and you don't know where the Bible come from. And I don't know where dinosaurs come from. I don't know where mermaids come from. I don't know where aliens come from. But all of that stuff come from somewhere. I don't think that anything is just pulled from the sky. There is a little bit of truth to everything that we're being taught. So I do believe, can the Bible be like a replica of something else? Yes. But do I believe that everything in the Bible is made up? Absolutely not. I think that there's some form of truth in every single line that I've ever read, and I've also watched it come into fruition into my own life. So I'm going to apply these stories and these skills and this wisdom to help me along my journey. And I just want to make it as easy as possible for others, because it's not an easy walk. Like, no need to make it any harder than what it's supposed to be. So, boom. Let me tell y'all about my girl Ruth, right? It starts with, all right, so it was Eli and Naomi. They were a couple. They had 2 sons. They lived in Bethlehem. It was going through like this scarcity in food. So they ended up, that's their land though. They're from Bethlehem. Keep in mind, back in those times, your home and your land was like, that was your priority. Like, you stick with who you came with. Your A1s, your day ones was your A1s back in the day. Let's just put it in our terms. So that was their land, but they decided, because they didn't have food, it was like a scarcity in food and just providing for themselves, they decided they were going to go to Moab. Now, poor Naomi, y'all. Her husband died. And her sons ended up marrying. So they had 2 sons. Now, let me tell y'all something about these names in this Bible. I don't know how to pronounce all these names. Some of these names are very easy. We got my girl Naomi, Ruth, Orpah. Cool. Eli, I call him Eli because I can't pronounce the whole thing. They had 2 sons. I want to say Malone and Kilian. I could be very much wrong. See these Christians and these people that's been tapped into the Bible a little longer than me, and Jade laughing from behind the camera. I don't know these people's names. I'm going to call them M and I'm going to call them K, because those names are very much being pronounced the way I'm reading them. And I know that that's not right from how Jade is cackling on the other side of this camera. And I'm going to say, guys, Jade knows the Bible from front to back, y'all. Front to back. She might mix it up a little bit, but if you get a name wrong, sister gonna laugh. And when I say y'all, she cackling behind this camera. Nah, I'm going to just say that Eli and Naomi had 2 sons, M and K, okay? Now, they married. Jay, you need to get it together. You need to hold it together. I'm hiring, y'all. I'm hiring somebody that's not going to laugh at me behind the camera. I'm going to have a Bible study lesson so Jay could teach me all of the names, because, y'all, when I tell these names up, she can't hold it together. She just can't believe that I'm chopping these people's names up like this. But they married, Naomi's 2 sons married Orpah and Ruth. Now, Naomi heard, before we even go that far, as Naomi returning to her land, the lady already lost her husband. Then she lost her sons. Now, that is where Naomi's faith kicked in, because Naomi heard that God had returned back to Bethlehem. Now, when they went to Moab, those women are not from where they're from. Orpah and Ruth are not from where they're from. So they're just following their mother-in-law, being loyal to their mother-in-law. Now, when Naomi decided, you know what, I'm going to just go back home. God didn't return. He done bought us some food. I'm going to just go back to where I'm from. I'm comfortable there. Y'all go back to y'all people. We could part ways. I can't have no more children. I can't get another husband. That was, Naomi's main cry. I can't do nothing else for y'all. Orpah was like, I'm out of here. I'm going back home. I'm comfortable. But Ruth had made obviously a dedication or some type of commitment to her husband, that she would, to not only her husband, but to Naomi as well. I'm going to stay by your side, girl. I'm going to stick with you. She said, where you go, I'll go. Where you die, I'll die. Whatever God you serve, I'll serve that God. But I promised you that I was going to ride with you, and I'm going to ride with you. And Naomi was like, you know what? We here. We gonna roll. And Naomi and Ruth, they went back to Bethlehem. Now, once they returned, let me tell y'all where it gets tricky. So when they went back, now Naomi's husband, Eli, like I said, we gonna say he had a cousin. He had a cousin who was a top dog. They called them what's the word I'm looking for? A man of standing, a man of stature. He was noble, he was known. He was that y'all know what I'm trying to say. He was that dude. His name was Boaz. So Boaz had not known who Ruth was. Now, mind you, Ruth is only there now because her loyalty is to Naomi. She is keeping her word. She's being a good person. She's what you need me to do. She's in the field. She working. Boaz like, who is this? This woman came here and she's stepping. Who is this? And he asked about her, but it's more of a, she's really a good person. He didn't say, who is this? She fine, she cute, she know how to dress, her hair stay done, her nail. She's just a good person. And to pause right here in the story before I go any further, I need y'all to recognize how you can be recognized simply from being a good person. Ruth did not stand out from anybody else other than the fact that we don't know you and you come here. And like I said, when you're doing things from the heart and from the inside out, you're going to give off a light. You're going to give off a radiance. It was something about Ruth that caught Boaz's eye. And it wasn't her physical appearance. It was her work ethic, for one. And it was the fact that he knew she had a good heart. Naomi's sons are dead. She's being loyal to her mother-in-law. She left where she's from to accompany her mother-in-law to where she was going. Only because she kept her word to her. And it's kind of like you, like I said, you don't just pick up and leave the 7 wards and move uptown. That's how it was back in the day. You don't just pick up and leave where you're from to go somewhere else. But she was a woman of her word and she was a good woman. Fast forward to Naomi now having to sell her property that belonged to her husband and her dead sons. And Boaz was like, all right, whoever buy the property also got to acknowledge Ruth. Ruth got to get something out of this. Simply from her being a good person. He was like, whoever purchased the land, you get the wife that goes with it. And if you don't do it, I'll do it. So the man was like, look, it was a, girl, correct. Don't tell me what it's called. Don't tell me what it's called, Jade. Leave me alone. I'm about to tell y'all what they call. Boaz decided if you're not going to purchase the land and give some sort of credit for Ruth, a guardian redeemer. I got ADHD, y'all, so it happened how it happened. But that's what it was called. It was called a guardian redeemer. And that's basically, like I said, if you click on it and if you click on it, most of the words that you don't know, it'll tell you exactly what it is. So a guardian redeemer is basically like a protector who they get to, like, I guess, redeem the things that are left over from whatever situations that happen. Like I said, in this case, Eli passed, their sons passed, Naomi had land left over for them. The guardian redeemers, is 12 of them. They set 10 or 12, set them down. Which one of y'all want to purchase the land? In purchasing the land, Ruth basically, it's a 2-for-1 sale. Nobody wanted to do it. Boaz said, I'm going to do it. Not only am I going to purchase this land, I'm going to marry Ruth. He married her. So now Ruth, just following around her mother-in-law, she's now married to the head honcho. But like, rewind, Naomi was saying, I can't have husbands, I'm old in age, I can't have kids. Ruth and Boaz ended up conceiving a child, and she ended up giving that son to Naomi, and Naomi got to raise that child. It's all full circle. Ruth got to live the life she lived. All she wanted was another husband. All Naomi wanted was another son. When you find your tribe, and let me tell you, in Ruth 2:12, it says, this is what Boaz said to Ruth, because he's asking her, like, what brought you here? What made you want to do this? What made you, like, you're so loyal to your mother-in-law? And Ruth, like, I'm just doing what I'm doing. Ruth just, she wasn't looking for anything in return. She was just being a woman of her word, and she was living genuinely. Everything she did was with genuine intention. Ruth 2:12 says, may the Lord repay you for what you have done. May you be richly rewarded by the Lord. Marrying Boaz, that was her rich reward. But also, she also got to reward Naomi with what it was that she always wanted. And all this comes from finding your tribe. Yes, Ruth had to leave behind what it was that she was used to, but she found her tribe. She found the people that were for her. She kept her word. She walked this woman, Naomi. She thinks she's helping Naomi. Naomi thinks she helping her. They helping each other. Naomi like, I'm going to bring you back to my land. Oh, and here go my people. And then Boaz, Naomi didn't even really introduce her to Boaz. When she found out that Boaz was asking about her and intrigued about the type of woman she was, Naomi was like, look, go see what's up. Go see what's up. You have my blessing. Naomi didn't try to stop her. They did what worked for each other. But in this story, what I found so much joy in was knowing that people say blood is not thicker than water. I mean, blood is thicker than water. And there are some people that believe, well, no, blood isn't thicker than water, because I got some friends that the blood of Jesus is thicker than anything. And that's what it was. There was one time, I can't remember the story, Jay. You probably could help me with it maybe further on down the line. I can't remember who it was. When they knocked on Jesus' door and was like, your mother and your brother outside. And God was like, my mother and my brother isn't here. My family isn't here. The people that follow me, that is my family. If my mother and my brother was following me, they would already be here. They wouldn't be outside knocking on the door looking for me. Jesus found his tribe. Ruth found her tribe. Naomi had her tribe. Boaz created his tribe. You have to find the people that are on the path that you're trying to be on right now, and find comfort in losing whatever it is that doesn't align with that. So yes, your circle may be different. And I know that we hear things like, as adults, you should have the same amount of, you should, have long-term friends, and you should have friends for this amount of years and that amount of years. I have met people that has done more for me in 2 months than what people have done for me in 20 years. It's never the length of a friendship or a relationship. It's the strength. I was with somebody for 11 years and then met someone else and was only dating him off, or not even dating him. He wasn't even my man. It was just off and on for 4 years. But he brought out my inner child more than someone that I was with for 11 years. Ooh. So it's never the length. It's always the strength. But you have to find your tribe. Find your tribe. Get comfortable with knowing, look, things are going to change. Seasons are going to change. The people I'm around are going to change. What I'm happy with is going to change. But this is what I'm transforming into. Ruth knew who I was before my husband died. I am no longer. So moving forward, I'm something different after he died. I'm living somewhere else after he died. I'm going to live a different life after he died. But because she stayed true to who she was, and she followed God, and she believed in God, and she believed that whatever God that Naomi served, which was Jesus Christ, whatever God you serve, I believe that God can help me too. And because she had faith with no plan, no partners, this wasn't, oh, well, I'm going to go grab my friend from down the street and get her to come with me and Naomi. Naomi, you got me. I told my husband that I got your back. My husband died, and that's still what it is. And God blessed her for that. And that is how you reap the benefits of, like, what God has in store for you. Being a good person. Being a good person to your tribe, finding your tribe. I get so much joy when I get around people that I could talk about God with. I find so much joy in people and being around people that are not afraid to praise him and not afraid to give him glory and not afraid to spread his word. And it's not because, oh, I'm so holy and I think I'm so much better than everybody. I have seen God work in ways I have seen God work in ways that have blown me back. I cannot take the credit for this. I'm pretty sure when Ruth did all that, I am married to a top dog. I was able to bless this woman with a son, and all I did was follow God. I cannot take the credit for this. And that's what y'all have to understand. A lot of people will try to slander you and tear you down because, oh, you used to be this way, and now since you're walking with God, you're this way. It's not even that. I think I'm better than you, or oh, I'm such a Jesus lover now. But when you have seen the goodness, when you have seen all that God can do for you, giving him glory is like a cakewalk. Praising his name is like a cakewalk. But I just want to encourage somebody to find their tribe. It's so much easier to praise God when you're around people that want to do it too. It's so much easier to love God when you're around people that want to love him too. Right now, the thing that I am most grateful for is the fact that God gave me God-fearing friends. I have lost so many people on this journey with him. But what I have gained outweighs all of that. And what's crazy is I went from 15 friends to 5. Less is more in most situations. And when it comes to your walk with God, less is more. The less talking you do, the more you can hear what's really going on. The less you stay out of the light or out of the center of attention, the more you can observe what's going on. The less you say, the more you learn. The less you argue, the more at peace you are. When it comes to walking with God, less is so much more. The less friends you have, the more your small circle can tap into what it is that God has for you. Because one thing I realized, you ever been to a concert or something and they call the artist on stage and he bring 50 lemon niggas on stage, excuse my language, bring all them people on stage, and you be like, I bought tickets to see Lil Wayne. Why is Peanut from up the street performing? Who are all these people? Why do they have 17 men on stage and I'm just here to see my favorite art? Everybody. And then you realize the concert was garbage at the end of the night because there were so many people and so many distractions and they thought that everybody could go. Whereas you go somewhere else, you go to a Janae Aiko concert and she come on stage by herself and it's the best concert that you've ever been to in your life because that's all she needed was her in that moment. Her pianist, her violinist, her drummer, and her 2 little background singers. And that's the best concert you ever went to. Less is more. All you need is your tribe, your people, the ones that make it easier for you to do what it is that God called you to do. But you also have to be ready to do what it is that God called you to do. And when God called you to do something, we think that once you start serving God, it's like a get. He's going to give you this. He's going to give you this. And you're going to reap this. And you're going to get this. And you're going to obtain this. You're going to lose so much. Let me prepare you, hun. Let me prepare you. You're going to lose so much. So many people, jobs, friendships, cars, houses, money, financial windfalls, because when you ask God for patience, he's not going to give you patience. He's going to put you in positions to make you patient. When you ask God for financial stability, he's not going to give you financial stability. He's going to drain your account so that when he blesses you, you have now obtained the ability to sustain your finances. The Lord we serve does not give us things. He teaches us things that gets us ultimately what it is that we wanted from the beginning. So I want you to take this story of Ruth, which the meat and the potatoes of this story is Ruth gave her word, kept her word, remained a good woman and a woman of God, trusting God, following God, letting her work ethic and her light shine. And in the midst of all of that, she got to marry a top dog and she got to bless the people around her. And that is what's important. Find your tribe in this season. If you really, really, really want to walk with God, baby, you got to be okay with losing people that don't want to walk with God. Because when you get your little group that do want to walk with God, oh, y'all are going to flourish. Y'all are going to do great things. Great things come from those that believe in God and that trust God. and that bring people to God. I did not make this podcast or agree with, I wasn't obedient with doing this podcast to convince people to join me. I'm just saying how good God has been to me. And if you want to join, the doors are always open. That's it. I'm just a vessel, babe. God's little helper. But I want you to take these stories. I'm planning on rolling it out like a little series. I'm gonna find a character every week, and I'm gonna tap into their story, and I'm gonna, try to teach y'all not only the Bible but how it can apply to your everyday life, because it's so helpful when you hear it like firsthand. Like, dang, that person really did do that, and it turned out like this. And if you anything like me, I believe what I read in the Bible. I believe my God. So if you're ready and you're willing and you're obedient, then stay close, stay with me. We got some big things in the works. But y'all know, I hate to love y'all. I hate to leave y'all. Usually I do a lot of joking and playing. This episode was more so of a teaching. Like, as I learn, I want to teach. As I grow, I want to help y'all grow. Lot more love, lot more laughs, lot more cries, y'all. I haven't cried on here in a little minute. I'm proud of myself, but I do want to encourage y'all to not only tap into y'all Bibles, but if y'all have questions, reach out to me. This is a community. We are a family. We are a group. And if I don't know the answer, I'll find it for you. But when you have questions about those Bibles, just hit me up. You can follow me, like I said, Ghetto Girls Love God on Instagram, all one word. You can contact me via email, ghettogirlslove465@gmail.com. If you feel like, Bree, you taking too long to answer my message on Ghetto Girls Love God, you can even hit me up on my personal page. Yeah, that's Bree 2_. I would hate to miss out on a question that will help y'all so very much, or I would hate for y'all to have questions and not get the answer. So find ways to contact me. I will answer in a timely manner. I promise. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, share it to your friends, tell your friends. Put together a little girls' night on Mondays. Watch it, whatever you got to do. But we are on this journey, y'all. We are on this journey together. God is so good. And I am so excited for y'all to reap the benefits of his goodness by joining me, asking questions, and just being more open to his love. But Mondays, YouTube, 7 p.m. Don't forget me. Love y'all lots. Ghetto Girls Love God. Until next time.